so that we can be free from the burden of anger against some mistakes made. So that we can be free from the burden of past mistakes made. And sometimes those mistakes might have actually affected us ourselves. Father, we surrender. We take risk. We may have to speak well of another, to profile the other person, so that the person can step into his destiny. Grace-colored vision, clinging to God in faithfulness. Father, for every point of focus that my brothers and sisters are making right now in the prayer towards you, right at this time, as we stand before you at this altar, I pray, Father God, for a release of that matter, the matter that is now being focused in their hearts and in their minds. I pray, Father God, for a touch of the Holy Spirit upon each and every one of us, and bring about a victory in our hearts. Bring a point of victory for us in response to this word. And we will give thanks to you in Jesus' name.
Today we also want to, this session, make it a prayer time for Sri Lanka. Each session we hope will become a prayer time for the nations here. We pray this day for Japan very strongly and Israel. Responding to Ajit's message, I personally find it's not too difficult to give sacrificially, as long as the person, the beneficiary, appreciates. I find when the beneficiary doesn't appreciate, after a while I don't want to have anything to do with it. Then my wife has to say that's not the way. I want to just let the fellow be. I will, in my mind, invoke the other side of God. And in Sri Lankan culture, it's very common to invoke other gods. Of course, being a good Christian, I can't invoke other gods. But I want to invoke the other side of God. Teach us for a lesson. All the imprecatory prayers come to me, and I muse on this fellow's badness till my spirit is spoiled. Generally, he runs the peace of mind. We sit like good boys, because
continue with our study of Barnabas, and we were in chapter 11, where we saw how he exhorted the people to faithfulness, and then we come to verse 24. It says, chapter 11 and verse 24. Right. it says, he exhorted them to remain faithful to the Lord with steadfast purpose. That's chapter 23. And then it says, for he was able to do this work of encouragement because he was a man, he was a good man, full of the Holy Spirit and of faith. Now, this is the character of an encourager. He was a good man. Paul ranks goodness above righteousness in Romans 5 and verse 7. He says, for one will scarcely die for a righteous person, though perhaps for a good person, one would even dare to die. So there's something about a good person that inspires loyalty and commitment. This word can mean generosity. It's used in Matthew 20:15 with the meaning of generosity. In Matthew 7 and 17, the same word is used to contrast good fruit and bad fruit. In people bearing good fruit and bad fruit. In Luke 8:15, it talks of the parable of the sower and talks of good soil. The good soil were those with honest and good heart. So there is something about a good person that he's a true Christian character. God has got through to all of him. This is a true Christian we are talking about. And these people are able to encourage others, because if you share a weakness with that person is not going to gossip about it, to others. If you point out a fault in that person won't take revenge against you for pointing out that fault. If you fulfill, he won't use you to fulfill his own personal aims. In a way that is harmful to you. We will use people to fulfill aims that are from God, but not in a way that is harmful to the person. We won't break principles to achieve an end. That's a good person. No politicking, no underhand methods, no cutting others down. We have an agenda. We are passionate for God. We want to go somewhere. We want to see things done for the kingdom. But we won't get there by taking shortcuts, by abusing another, by exploiting another, by lying, by breaking God's rules. I was chatting to my son-in-law, who's one of my colleagues in Youth for Christ, and we were talking about some ministries, some people that we know, who are breaking principles, and they're doing well. The ministries are growing, and sometimes you really wonder, Lord, can't we also go like this? And what we were talking is, you can grow for a time, and you can just, expand, and unless they repent of this breaking of principles, it's not going to last. And this is why I think we see people coming forward and then going on, and then they come to a place where after some time the not goodness of their character comes out. And then, we have a huge problem in Sri Lanka today in that we can't trust leaders. I'm always telling our pastors, you must share your problem. You must have a friend. You can't go through this alone. And almost every time what I'm told is, I've tried to do that and I got hurt. I can't. I don't want to do that because I got hurt. This is something that is desperately needed in the church today, where we can be people whom people can trust us to do what is right. We may do what is sometimes foolish, but they know we are not doing it with an ulterior motive to hurt somebody or to get through some plan that we have. So I tell people, sometimes, if you have problems with a leader, go and tell him that you have this problem. No, we'll never do that, because it will hurt us. He will say, thank you very much for telling me, and then he'll cut us through some other way. it's such a shame. Such a shame. I think of Moses when his brother and sister rebelled against him. And then God spoke on behalf of Moses. What an amazing thing. God speaks up on behalf of Moses. And then God sends a leprous hand to Miriam. And what does Moses do? Please, God, please heal her. The one who had spoken against him, when God judges, he's pleading. The Hebrew, I'm not a Hebrew scholar, but the scholars tell us that the Hebrew is very graphic. Please, God, please heal her. No revenge. Moses had seen the glory of God. And after he saw the glory of God, underhand methods were below his dignity. He was now a child of God and the King. And he had been risen to a level where acting without integrity was something he dared not do. But we too have seen the glory of God. Paul says in Colossians 3 that we have been lifted up. And so our eyes are fixed on things above. No longer do we use earthly methods to achieve God's aim. Because God is too great to need the methods of Satan to do His work. He can manage without them. And so such small behavior is below our dignity as people who have seen the glory of God. It's universally accepted that we need good people now. I mean, that is, everybody knows that we need good people. But everyone says it's impossible. Everyone says you can't live in this world and be good people. Good people will never go forward. So the caricature of a priest of a minister of religion in television or in a cartoon is somebody with a long beard, whose head is up in the clouds. You can go to him for a prayer, but they really don't know what life is all about. Good people are impractical people. That's the idea that we have. May they see us not only good, but doing things for God, and God blessing it, so that they will say, we also want to follow them and be like Jesus. Paul, 4 times he says, follow me as I follow Christ, in different ways. He says that 4 times, he says, follow me. I mean, I don't know whether we can tell people to follow us, but I hope they will see that we are people who are worth following because we are trying to follow Jesus. I love this story about John Selwyn. John Selwyn was a bishop in one of these South Pacific islands later on, but when he went as a missionary, he had a boys' home. And there was one boy in this home who was very badly behaved. So he tried to, point out his faults and tried to get him to change, but he couldn't change. And one day when he had been bad, John Selwyn, reprimanded him, scolded him. And this boy got so angry, he slapped John Selwyn. And this boy turned. John Selwyn thought, this is not the time for me to hit him or do anything like that. So he just turned and went away. The boy got worse and worse and worse and had to be sent home to his island. 30, 40, 50 years later, there was this old man who had called for the pastor saying, I want to become a Christian before I die. And it was this boy. And when he was baptized, the pastor asked, do you like to take a new name? And he said, call me John Selwyn, because I found out what Jesus was like the day that I slapped him. Being people through whom they can see Jesus in us. They are encouraged to go forward to greatness with God. Secondly, he was full of the Holy Spirit. Fullness of the Holy Spirit is used in 2 ways in the book of Acts. Sometimes it is used as a fullness for an assignment. Like Acts 4:8. Peter, filled with the Holy Spirit, spoke, defending the gospel before the Sanhedrin. Paul, in Acts 13:9, very interesting passage. He was filled with the Holy Spirit to rebuke Elymas and to call him, to blind him. So sometimes, when we scold people, we forget about the Holy Spirit. But we need the fullness of the Holy Spirit to scold people. Because that's where we need actually most. So, Paul, filled with the Holy Spirit, rebuked them. So this is an anointing for an assignment. Those passages. The other way is to describe a person. He is a person filled with the Holy Spirit. That's the way they look at it. The 7 appointed to serve tables needed to be filled with the Holy Spirit. And Stephen in particular, twice is described as one full of the Holy Spirit. But these are quality required of all Christians.